To me, Tikkun Olam is about leaving the world in a better place than you found it. And it really informs just about everything I do in life, from my kids who are going to make the world a better place to some of the things that I get to do. It's a central part of who I am and how I believe.
Their grandparents really gave us all the principles of Tikkun Olam. They were constantly involved in giving to other people through Jewish organizations and to Israel, and taught me first what that meant and how to give of yourself. And then with my wife Jackie, I think that we were able to pass it on as they're doing to their kids.
I realized that for me, Tikkun Olam means that while the brief time we're here on this world, that we do something to make a difference in someone's life other than our own. So to me, anything you do in terms of an act of kindness, something for the community, something for someone else, that's the important issue.
To repair the world. And by that, I mean, do your part to help those people in the community, those people in Israel who need our help.
A number of years ago, the Cleveland Jewish Federation had a slogan in the campaign that was growing and strengthening Jewish Cleveland. And I think it epitomizes what I've been trying to do in the community.
Find a mentor. The late Congresswoman Stephanie Tubbs Jones hired me in the Cuyahoga County Prosecutor's Office at a time when she was the first woman Cuyahoga County prosecutor. And she taught me the importance of connecting with people.
My advice is be a volunteer. Whether you are a graduate, business person, professional, or stay-at-home person, you will enrich your life with service.
The best advice I have for young women is to follow your heart, believe in yourself, and take time. Take time for your family, for yourself and your friends.
Ask yourself, how can I make someone's life, my community, what I'm involved with, better? That's how you can start to make a difference.
I got involved at an early age because I was young and naive and idealistic, to be perfectly honest, which are all the ingredients for someone to get involved in a nonprofit and basically start a nonprofit. I had founded an organization early on, had an idea that we would help collect unused medical supplies and distribute them around the world to help set up clinics and hospitals to developing countries in need. And it didn't seem to exist, so we just did it.
Through Agnon, we met people who were involved in certain organizations. I became president of PTA at Agnon. Erwin became, when he went on the board of Agnon, he became president of Agnon. So that was the first stepping stone.
Through travel to Israel and other spots around the world, I've had the opportunity to see firsthand how the Jewish people are connected and realize that we are all responsible for one another. My value system, my family, and my outlook on the world have fundamentally changed because of my involvement in the community.
My involvement in the Jewish community came when I was in high school. It was a discussion in my home. My parents were donors to the Federation, and it became fairly apparent to me that it was important, so I got involved. I co-chaired the high school division and started my career with the community.
I was raised by a single parent, my mother, who raised 7 kids and worked full-time and didn't retire until she was diagnosed with cancer that eventually took her life. And although she didn't have the money or time to do work in the community or pure charitable works, she taught me the value of hard work and taught me the value of being in the shoes of others.
First and foremost, my family, my mother, my father, my brother Richie, and aunts all taught me important values and to follow the commandments.
My parents, I'm a child of the Holocaust. My wife, my best friend since 9th grade at Beechwood High, and a pediatric therapist, and my daughters, who are a lawyer and an artist.
In addition to my father-in-law would be Peter Rezepka and Neil Waxman. They were very influential on my path forward in the community, and of course also my dad, although from a distance, but certainly had an impact on my life.
One is Sleepless in Seattle, because that speaks to the romantic in me, and the other is A League of Their Own, I think because of the Tom Hanks factor for one, and secondly, it's strong women doing something impactful with their lives.
My favorite movie is Gone with the Wind, and the reason is because when my mother was a young teenager and she read Margaret Mitchell's epic book, Gone with the Wind, she decided if she ever had a daughter, she would name her Sue Ellen.
If I could have dinner with one person, I'd have dinner with my grandmother, Gigi. First of all, I hope she'd cook because she was amazing. I'd want to thank her for the valuable lessons she taught me by instilling her Jewish values.
It would probably be Mel Brooks, because Mel Brooks is a huge inspiration to me. He's a modern day hero, shining light and laughter where the world needs it most, and is unashamedly funny.
My daughter Melissa, which would not be a surprise to anyone who knows me. First, for obvious reasons, just to see her once more and tell her I love her, but also to ask her permission to have shared her story in such a public way while trying to help the opioid epidemic that we are in the midst of. I would also want to know if she had lived, would she be at my side fighting this epidemic with me? I would like to think that she would.
I actually love being with my kids. I love exploring Cleveland with them, cooking with them, just hanging out. And when I'm not doing that, I'm usually involved in some sort of a project where I'm working towards hopefully making Cleveland a better place, making the world a better place. I'm not one usually to sit around on the couch. I like to be out doing things and hopefully making a difference.
That's assuming I have free time. So in the little free time that I do have, I enjoy walking in the neighborhood with my husband and our incredible dog, Kobe, and stopping along the way to visit with our neighbors and their dogs. I enjoy reading. I always have a stack of books by my bedside.
My mother was a working mother at a time when none of my peers, none of their mothers worked.
My family and the organizations that I belong to.
The people that I work with in the community, the people that I'm friendly with, family, we have to look at ourselves, and no matter what problems or issues we have, there's so many people that have it worse than we have it. And I think it's our obligation to help those people.
By seeing the tremendous difference that we can make in the lives of others, the impact we can have, and the changes that we make. I'm also motivated by knowing that I'm inspiring my children to continue our family tradition of making a difference in the lives of others.
Mostly guilt. It's mostly guilt that motivates me, desire, and a need to please my parents, and it's mostly guilt.
It's where my family has grown up for many generations. I think it's a great place to raise a family.
The leaders in Cleveland today, it's just absolutely amazing. I'm just so proud that so many men and women have been not just leaders in Cleveland, but leaders across the country in national organizations and internationally.
I love Northeast Ohio for its diversity, community, and traditions. It's a great place to raise a family. The community is so rich. We see it at good times, like when the Indians win, when someone has a baby or gets married, and at bad times when a family's in need. When it comes down to it, we support each other when it counts. It's home.
It's his fault because this is where he decided to raise us, and we knew that if we moved back to Cleveland, we got free Friday night dinners at our parents' house, so that really brought us back to Northeast Ohio. What Lee actually realized in doing some research many years ago was that Northeast Ohio had this huge dichotomy of the best healthcare systems in the world, and was leading the way in medicine and healthcare, and at the same time have the highest population of poverty and underserved and unmet healthcare needs within walking distance to those world-class healthcare institutions.
My favorite Jewish holiday is Rosh Hashanah. It's the beginning and ending of the year. It's always celebrated with family, so lots of family and lots of reflection.
Feast of Booths, or the Feast of the Ingathering. The sukkah is a temporary dwelling, and every year our family decorates our sukkah with art and our kids have created over the years.
I really like Rosh Hashanah because it's the start of a new year. It's apples and honey. It's a start to a sweet new year. I think it's always great to be reflective on the prior year and set new goals for the next years.
We have an incredibly strong Jewish community in Cleveland, and I believe that it's very important that our heritage, our parents, and their generations that came before them should be remembered, preserved, and treasured.
A large, helpful, and beneficial presence in Jewish Cleveland is important to me because as a volunteer, it has enabled me to be an active part of the Jewish community as well as the community at large. It introduced me to service agencies and to persons who serve those who need assistance in their personal lives, and afforded me the opportunity to be of service as well.
I'm just trying to do my best. The opportunities to help others are endless, and I try, although not always successfully, to follow the golden rule. Hunger, shelter, clothing, education, and preservation of Judaism and Israel. If you have extra time, you can add curing sickness and disease.
I've been very fortunate in Jewish Cleveland involvement. I've been involved with Montefiore, the Federation, the JCC, and leaving those agencies and the community in a better place for the future generations, to me, is the most important thing we can do. Yeah, my being honored is really a function of three things, and those things are my family, my friends, and the people that support me at work. They inspire me. They're an important part of my lives, and their willingness and their compassion and understanding my view on being involved in the community is what enables me to do the things that I do.